All right, the question from the audience was, is Judaism, Torah life practical in a modern society? And is God relevant in our lives? This is a two-faced question. Some people would begin with God, and others would begin with the Torah. Number one, if God created the world and set everything up exactly as God wanted, then God is very relevant, because no matter what you're going to do, God will cause something to remind you that God's in charge. You know, the 19th century, scientists thought that they had come to know everything. They really thought that there was nothing more to learn. They had discovered the atom. They had discovered electricity. They had created these huge, monstrous machines that could harness tremendous energies to create clothing, mill grain, bake bread, lighten up the darkness, heat homes, transmit messages from far distances, and to see things and to experience things that no person had ever experienced within the frame of just 50 years. They came to the 20th century with the cocky attitude that they knew everything. Not only did they know everything, but their ancestors knew nothing. And as a result of that, especially in the German and other Western European universities, it was quite popular to debunk, quote unquote, the Bible, because the Bible was seen as the enemy, the book, the repository of ideas that went against science. But if you examine science, you truly examine the results, the conclusions that one would have to make, you would then say that it makes no difference what you do. It doesn't make a difference how many people you kill. It doesn't make a difference how miserable you make other people, or how miserable you are yourself. It just doesn't make any difference at all. Because it just happenstance. It happened by itself. Some schmutz, some dirt, got hit by some cosmic light and became life. And this life begat other life, and it just happened that way. And there is no rhyme or reason to this world. And the truth is that scientists struggled with this, tried to find a universal code of ethics, even while they began to not believe in God. And it became quite popular to do this. However, the more they began to examine, the more they began to see that there was an original cause. Einstein called him the old man. Scientists soon began to see that there was a big bang. There was, frightfully, some origin in a time yet to be determined. And so, the question is not whether the Torah of Judaism is relevant, the question is whether science is relevant. Because science's conclusions run contrary to our humanity and our human feelings. Those who claim to be scientists have no moral compass. I've just spent 3 weeks arguing with a bunch of silly people on the internet as to whether circumcision is beneficial for the person or not, which is irrelevant, because circumcision is God's commandment. It just so happens that most of the studies indicate tremendous health benefits. I'm still being argued by people who claim to be scientists calling this an amputation. And most of those same scientists are for abortion and for doctor-assisted suicide and for medicide. And it's a strange thing. They're against harming any children, but they will kill them in the womb. In fact, if the kid has the audacity to survive the abortion, you got to kill him anyway. He's unwanted and unloved. There are too many contradictions among scientists to take them seriously. The question is, which religion do you take seriously? That's the question. If God is relevant, if God created everything, then that's the most important thing. What am I doing to make God happy? Am I following the code that God wants me to follow? Am I being the kind of person that God wants me to be? Now, what exactly is that kind of a person? So for that you have to study the works of people like Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, known as Maimonides, who was the greatest philosopher and doctor of his day, and who taught man what God wants. God wants a balanced person. God wants a person that loves, but at the same time has a set of rules to love. God wants a person that has compassion, but has rules when and what to do with that compassion. God wants a person that is wise, but not a book with a heart, a brain with feelings. In order to know what God wants, one must study the Torah. And the Torah is relevant.